We are on day, gosh, I think it's 6 or 7 of factors and multiples today. We're going to be doing some work today, really working with common multiples and working with what we've learned about factors, and then really just reviewing 3 reads because we're going to be using factors and multiples in word problems and helping understand really how word problems work and how we can solve them. So our learning target today is, today I am learning to use multiples and common multiples to solve word problems. I will know I have learned it when I can identify the first 2 to 3 common multiples of any 2 numbers up to 12. So that might be common multiples of 4 and 6, 7 and 2, 6 and 11. We'll be able to hopefully do this by the end. Now I want to remind you guys a little bit of vocabulary before we get going. A multiple, the product of a number and any other whole number. So we've been talking about multiples 2, 4, 6, 8, things like that. And our common multiple, which I'll be showing you in a second, but it's a multiple that 2 numbers share. So before we kind of get into the common multiples, I want us to grapple with some questions that are going to be on your worksheet. These are true-false questions, which means there's a right answer or a wrong answer, but I really want you to think why. Now I'm going to read them and think about them. I'm not going to tell you the answer because on your assignment you're going to tell me what you think the answer is and why you think that. So, first one, all composite numbers are even. Now, for those of you who may not remember, a composite number is a number with more than 2 factors. So, one number that we said was composite was 10. It's got 1 and 10, 2 and 5, at least. That's 4 factors. It's composite. But are all composite numbers even? Remember, even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. The second question is, all prime numbers are odd. Now, prime, if you remember, is a number with only 2 factors. So, for example, the number 3 is a prime number. Its only 2 factors are 1 and itself. So you really want to think, are all prime numbers odd? For example, odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, etc. The last question is, a multiple of a number is always greater than that number. Multiple of a number is always greater than that number. Is that true or false? How do you know? Think about these questions. These are questions that we're really asking you to be mathematicians and jump up to that really smart understanding. So, common multiple. We talked about this a little bit in our last lesson. When you have a multiple, for example, what we did, and I'm going to continue with this one, is we did the multiples of 2. So we're going to go from 2, the first 10 multiples of 2. Say them with me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, ooh, I got a little close there, and 20. Those are the first 10 multiples of 2. First 10 multiples of 3, say them with me. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Oh, 18. I wrote 12. Goodness. It's getting me staying at home so much. 21, 24, 27, and 30. Common multiples are the multiples that these 2 numbers share. They both share a multiple of 12. I see 12 here and here. I also see 18 here and here. And I see 6 here and here. Those are the common multiples. The last thing I want to go over with you guys today is 3 reads. We went over this sporadically in the school year when we were at school. And this is just a review, and you're going to really be answering and breaking down the problem. The biggest thing I want to remind you about 3 reads is reading the problem 3 times. It seems silly. It seems like I've already read this multiple times, but it's so, so important. So remember, the first time you read, you are reading and asking yourself, what is this story about? What's even happening in this story? The second time you read, you're asking yourself, what are the quantities in this story? What are the numbers? And the third time you read, you're asking yourself, what questions could we answer? Now, even if the problem is one that you feel you can answer right away, I'm really encouraging you guys to practice your 3 reads, because the more you practice, the better you're going to be. It's like we say during the fall a lot, is the Seahawks don't go and just show up at games and everything works perfect. They practice a lot so that they can win. Math is the same way. You practice a lot so you can be successful. I'm going to switch to the other screen now to show you guys your worksheet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm just going to show you real quickly here is what your assignment will look like. These 3 are questions that we actually, I read them to you earlier. All composite numbers are even, all prime numbers are odd, and a multiple of a number is always greater than that number. And so just answer those, but please put the because. Make sure you put the because. It's very important. Then right here, I'll adjust it a little bit. It looks like it got a little cut off, but every number has its own connection or its own collection of multiples, but it also shares multiples with other numbers. We're talking about common multiples. What is the next number that 2 and 3 share? How do you know this? Then right here, you're going to do a 3 reads with a problem, answering what is happening in the problem, what are the quantities, and what questions can we answer? And finally, this is your journal. What is the answer to the word problem you just read? And what is the main difference between prime and composite numbers? Go ahead and ask questions on email, on Seesaw, whatever you need. Thank you.